He was over there in 2004, so right when everything was going on, at the beginning of 2004. And the way one of my honor guards tried to explain it to me, he said the only way I could explain to you what he was doing over there, other than the stories that Chad had told us, was every day he was discharging his weapon, every day he was killing somebody, every day he was being shot at or picking up body parts. The first week that he was there, they always had incoming mortars, and they had left the chow hall. There was two Marines ahead of him, and he had kind of lagged behind with another Marine. The one Marine in front of him stopped, cupped his hand, a cigarette, and a mortar came in and hit him, blew him up right in front of him. And so that was his first experience. So it was, Sergeant walked up, gave him some black bags, and told him to pick them up. Had to pick up the body parts. When he came back, he was just
nervous, on edge.
Yeah. He went to his First Sergeant Lampolson with this, asking for the help. The doctor had let Lampolson know that he had been drinking. At the time, he was under the age of 21, and Lampolson told him that he would, if he kept pursuing this avenue, that he would dishonorably discharge him for underage drinking, that he was just being a wuss. Not the word that he used, but that he was being a wuss, he was faking it, and that was the avenue he was going to take if he continued, that he needed to go on his second tour. And he did a second tour. He did it with no help.
He shouldn't have been sent for a second tour at all. And the thing is, in the military, they always say, if you need help, you can always come to us. We'll help you out with anything, medical, whatever. We're here to help you while you're with us. And he went, and he was shot down, repeatedly. And it was all because they were saying, you don't want to go to Iraq. He's like, that's not the thing. I don't mind going, but I don't feel I'm 100% to where I can lead other people. The second tour was completely different from his first tour. It was a lot quieter, as he stated. It was a lot calmer. He was like, he felt like when they were out in the streets that they weren't having to watch their back as much. There was actually people out there talking to them, but it put him at ease.
He'd go drive by places and think he'd have flashbacks. So this is where so-and-so got shot, or this is where this blew up, or this is where something like that. Just that constantly was on him. It was just everything came back when he went back over there, because it was the same city, same base, everything. I was concerned for the drinking. That was the big thing, was the drinking, him not being able to sleep, him still seeing fits. I wanted something done about that, because he still wasn't able to deal with what had happened on the first tour. And it was tough for him to ask the first time. They do say, and they tell the media and everything, oh yeah, we want to help, they want to help. No, not a manly thing to do. It's not, you're not the Marine. If you go and ask for help, you're a wuss. So what they tell the public and then what they do to them are two different things.
He left my house completely drunk, drove his truck to his mom's house, and really had no idea what he was doing or how he got there.
Of course, he came to the door, and immediately I walked to the door, and all he did, he just handed me his keys, because he knew that was the first thing. And he just started crying. I got him in my room and just held him like a baby. And again, started, is God going to forgive me? And I want to be normal again. That was what he just kept saying over and over, was he just wanted to be normal again. And he wanted help, but he knew he couldn't do it through the military. He's finally said, enough's enough. I'm not sleeping. Something's got to be done. I'm going to be discharged in July. This has got to be on record, because he was finding out more and more just through our research and everything that if you didn't let them know what was going on, the VA was not going to help you when you got out, if you didn't have it on record. They finally put him on Ambien for the sleeping. That was one of the first drugs in March. But again, there was no counseling. There was no we're going to get you here. You know, in our world, you could get to a doctor the next day. It was just, here you go, and yeah, we know you're drinking, don't drink. When they finally had a breakthrough, he started telling them about Iraq and how things, why he had these problems, and they stopped him and told him that, oh no, we can't do that. That's only on Wednesdays. It just pissed me off more. Like, okay, why do you have him there? I mean, there are other military people. It wasn't any civilians, so why can't we talk about this? Everybody's being briefed the same way, so why couldn't he talk about it? And if this wasn't a facility that was going to be able to help him, why did they waste his time in sending him there? Why didn't they get him over to Napa Valley where he needed to be?
When things really started getting bad, it was that the week after he got back from his rehab.
Yeah.
For some reason, his flashbacks were becoming more often, more aggressive, and immediately he would go, you know, as he said, he would go to the mental health hospital and be like, look, someone needs to take care of me. I'm freaking out. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm seeing. And they would just give him medication, keep him for a little while till like the drugs took effect or they wore off, and then they would send him back to base.
The 16th was a Friday. And he had called me that night and asked, you know, which is new because I took care of his money, and it was the, how much money do I have? And it was, no, how much do you need? And he was going to go get a tattoo. They were supposed to go to Palm Springs to do a tattoo, another one, as if he needed any more, but okay. His dad talked to him at 11:30 that night, and it was fine. It was 1 o'clock. Okay, so it was 1:30 there. It was 11:30 here. Somewhere between that time and 12:48 a.m. on the 17th, something happened in there, but that was the last phone call that Chad made. It was 11:30 here when the doorbell rang. I was up. My best friend was here. All the way to the door, Helen kept saying, all I was saying was, something's not right, something's wrong, something's, you know. And when I came back to the door, Eddie was in, and he just stood there, and he said, they found Chad. And of course I'm thinking, okay, you know, I'm thinking a wreck, something. And then he said they found him in his room. And then he was dead. Wasn't thinking that it was real. Kept telling him that, are you sure? You sure it was Chad? Because I knew he hadn't been over there. And it's just not supposed to work that way. The children aren't supposed to die before the parents.